Good afternoon, Arizona. Welcome to the In Touch SS Healthcare channel where we talk about what we want. Today we're going to be talking about staffing. Yesterday on social media, I saw a healthcare provider from Maryland talking about staffing and thought, how fit is that for our time right now? Not only are we going through a caregiver crisis, but we're going through a pandemic. And one of the struggles a lot of assisted living homes are having is finding staffing, especially due to COVID-19. So what are some tips? First, you want to determine what type of caregiver are you looking for. Are you looking for an hourly caregiver, an overnight caregiver, or a live-in caregiver? That way you can determine and find resources, where to find these caregivers based on what you're looking for. Number two, always check your local laws. Does Arizona consider residential assisted living homes exempt from minimum wage? It's a good question. Check your local labor laws. And check the recommendations. Always check the personal and professional references of an applicant. You want to do so because you want to know their work experience. Can you leave them alone in your facility? Also, the NCIA board has created some resources in a portal where you can verify caregiver certificates if they're licensed after 2013. So it's a great resource. Use it. Now, how do we find caregivers in the state of Arizona? There are online social media and websites. There is Facebook, which has been created many groups. There's caregiver groups, there's assisted living, manager groups, assisted living, home groups. There's a lot of groups on Facebook that can help you find caregivers. There's LinkedIn that now you can search for caregivers. Also, Craigslist is not really used anymore for caregivers. Care.com, agingcare.com, azcaregiver.org, Caregivers of Arizona, caregivers.net, Simply Hired, azcaregiver.org, Happy Hired. There's so many websites and social media sites that are available for caregivers. You can search them out, you can check them out. But one of the disadvantages of some of the websites like care.com or Simply Hired, you will find caregivers there that are used to being paid more than $15 an hour, and they're used to working with one resident as opposed to 4, 5, 6, 8, 10. So that's one of the disadvantages of some of the websites. Number two, you can ask your caregiver. If you have a current caregiver that's a really great caregiver, ask them, do you know any friends that are looking for a job? Do you know any other people in the industry? Have you heard of anyone looking for a job? It's a great resource to ask your current caregiver, or if you had a caregiver that may have relocated and is no longer working with you, but you still have good terms, ask them, do you know anyone else looking for a job? It has helped a lot of facilities find good caregivers. Number three, use a staffing agency. Sometimes staffing agencies are used for the weekends, for your caregiver's days off, or during a temporary time. They are a little expensive, but they're there for you. The staffing agency that we use locally and a lot of people use is Staff on Site, that is owned by Sean Hearn. They're a great staffing agency, and that's a good way to staff your facility for temporary needs. Number four, talk to other facilities. There have been times when you find a great caregiver, but you can't sustain all of their hours that they want. So you can split it with another facility. So you can hire them for this many hours and they can hire them for this many hours. That's worked, and it works really well sometimes. So you can talk to other facilities about, who they're using, where they found a caregiver, or sharing a caregiver. So these are just some resources available for assisted living homes in Arizona on where to find a caregiver. Thank you and have a great day, everyone.